Viva Put Senyor, Viva Senyor Santo Niño. Today, in the whole archipelago of the Philippines, the whole church celebrates the feast of the Santo Niño. Although in the Universal Church is second Sunday in ordinary time. The feast of Santo Niño is very important in the Philippines, especially in the island of Cebu, where after the baptism of Ra Humabon and Queen Juana, that image of the Santo Niño, the image of the Holy Child, is given to the Queen as a gift from Ferdinand Magellan. Our readings for today on this feast of the Santo Niño, God is asking us to reflect on the mystery of the childhood, mystery on how to become real children of God. In our first reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 9, there is the passage there that says, "A child is born to us, a child is given." This child is really a gift for the people. And because of the birth of this child, there is a transformation, a change for the people. Before, the people experience sadness, they experience gloom and loneliness. But by the birth of this child, there was already rejoicing and gladness. Before, the people experienced darkness, but now, because of the birth of this child brought light to the people. Indeed, every birth of a child brings joy, especially for the mother. And every child is always a blessing of God. That's why there's a famous saying that says, every child is a project of God. Every child is holy. Every child is important and has dignity. That's why we have to love and uphold the life of every child. Personally, I don't want to eat balut because balut is abortion. And I'm against abortion. Now in our gospel is taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 18. The disciples were asking who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And in order to drive the point of Jesus, who is the greatest of the kingdom of heaven, Jesus took a child. This child became the prop of Jesus in order to give his message to his disciples. Unless you turn and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, being a child is an important characteristic for us in order to enter heaven. Without acquiring or possessing the heart of a child, heaven is not for us. That's why the Lord is asking us to become like a child. And we have to look and understand why child. Because the number one characteristic of a child is complete trust. A child has this complete trust with his or her parents, with the people around, because the child is always innocent and dependent. I'm sure that's the message of the Lord for us. The Lord is asking us to have this complete dependence on Him. Yes, it is true that we cannot go on with our journey without the presence of the Lord. So there's the necessity for us to become a child. There's a story of one woman who wanted to look younger, to look like a child. He went to a doctor and asked the doctor, "I wanted to have plastic surgery so that my face will become like a child." And the doctor said, "Okay, you give me 500,000 pesos. And the woman said, "It's very expensive. Is there a cheaper price?" 100,000 pesos. And the woman said, "Still expensive. Is there a cheaper price?" And the doctor was already a little bit annoyed, and the doctor says that cheapest price, only 20 pesos. I will give you chupon. Passive. Use this chupon and you will become like a child. Yes, it's all our desire to become a child. But this childhood in us would tell us that we are completely dependent on God. We trust in the Lord because we cannot continue, go on, persevere in this life without the presence, the guidance, and the protection of God. And the Lord asks us to always remember this important fact that without Him, we are nothing. Our life is meaningless without the Lord. So every day, we need to tell to the Lord, Lord, we need you. Lord, I need you. Yes, relying only on our personal capacity, it's very difficult to continue and move on in our life. Just like, for example, to forgive. It's very difficult for us to forgive because human as we are, we have this tendency to revenge, to retaliate. But the Lord is asking us to forgive, to love, especially those people who hurt us, to love those enemies that we have. And relying on our personal capacity, it's impossible to forgive. But if we allow the Lord to enter into our life, if we allow the Spirit of the Lord to possess us, to penetrate in our heart, forgiveness is always possible. So let us always ask the Lord. Let us always remember this fact that without Him, without the Lord, we are nothing. Let us always remember that we are always children in front of the Lord. And the Lord is our Father. A Father who always loves, protects, and takes care of His children. God bless you all. Send, O Lord, holy apostles into your church.